Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make this video to touch on a topic that I don't hear talked about often in this community. I know it's a controversial topic, something I'm passionate about. I'm not really afraid of the backlash. I think it's important to get it out there, especially for Christians. I do think that this is best discussed on a level of what do the stats say about contraception and how it affects people, men and women. I'll try to leave the religion out as much as I can. The reason I've been thinking about this topic is because I've noticed since I went carnivore that I thought that I was really good at listening to my body as a woman before I was carnivore. And I realized recently I wasn't really in touch with the changes in my body from month to month like I am now. Carnivore has given me keen ability to know what's going on at the time of the month that it's going on, and to have this awareness that leads me to make better choices and to know instinctively what my body needs. I'm now more responsive and more quickly responsive to, oh, okay, I can tell now I'm gonna get my period soon. I need to rest more. I need more sleep. I need more fat, like tons more fat. I immediately respond with what my body is asking for. Before your period, naturally in a place where your brain is wanting to be more introspective, reflective, you may want to be at home more. Your body wants to slow down, if not totally shut down. And that's difficult in today's society because we're literally expected to just go as women, as if we're always like on the same level with the hormones, which is not true unless you're on the birth control pill. So that brings me to that, which is when we are taking the pill or we are doing other things that are to try to prevent us from getting pregnant, we're lying to ourselves. The pill and the IUD and all that would be the most offensive to our body because it's literally lying to our body and totally screwing up our hormones. That's unhealthy and not ancestrally appropriate. This video is not so much about the barrier methods. It's more about the pill, the IUD shots, and the idea that vasectomies are this great thing that men should encourage each other to have. There are many men who are silently suffering from what is called post-vasectomy pain syndrome, which I can't remember if it's 5 or 15% of vasectomy patients go on to have these complications and lots of pain, and it sounds horrific. I've seen terrible stories of men who have had serious problems from it and try to tell their story, but it's not talked about very much. And this is no different than women who have serious reactions and side effects from IUD or Depo-Provera. Why are women wanting to demasculate a man, especially their own husband? There's something behind that. It's like we're turning it around on men, and I don't think that's a good idea. Sterilization is just mutilation. This idea that birth control was going to somehow make everything better has really been totally debunked by the actual evidence. For example, in between 1960 and 1980, the divorce rate doubled in those 20 years. We've only seen an increase in abortions, an increase in single motherhood, and an increase in absent fatherhood. My mom almost died from the birth control pill because she was at risk for the blood clots. She didn't know. So in the interview I had with Carnivore Camaraderie, I talked about copper toxicity being a real issue. It's very rarely talked about, but it's a real thing, and I had it. It could have been from the birth control pills that I took off and on. It has real effects, which affect our sensory systems. I had to spend a lot of money to get rid of that, but not everybody is going to have that ability to do that. Prevention is always best. People watching my channel are apparently in their 40s and 50s, but you know someone that needs some of this information. And I think it should be required for every teenage girl to understand her cycle and to learn how to monitor the signs of her fertility. It's not hard if we teach them when they're young. It was a study of 1 million women by the American Medical Association, in which there was a strong association between the girls and women who contracepted and then a subsequent diagnosis of severe depression and prescribing of antidepressants. For the adolescents, it was an 80% increase that it seemed. That would be me, because I was first put on birth control at 14 or 15, and then I was diagnosed with severe depression and medicated by the time I was 19. And that went on for about 2 decades. So now you see why I'm so passionate about this subject. Our daughters deserve better, our nieces deserve better, our grandchildren deserve better. The American Psychiatric Association reported that contraceptives, including the vaginal ring, whatever that is, and the patch, increase girls' suicide rates by 200%. IUDs actually lead to multiple early abortions for many women that they are not even made aware of. And these repeated early abortions increase their risk of breast cancer. Some books I recommend are, the one I used to use is called Taking Charge of Your Fertility by Toni Weishler. This is not a Catholic book. If I recall, it's a secular book, but it makes it very accessible to anyone, easy to understand. Another book that I have not read but looks really interesting to me, especially if you're Catholic or Christian, is Sex au Naturel by Patrick Coffin. This looks great because he's got like the church teaching and history of teaching on contraception. If you're Protestant, you may not know that every Christian church for 2,000 years knew that contraception was a grave sin and was not acceptable for Christians. Then you saw in the 60s with the invention of the pill, the church was pressured to accept the pill as a good thing. That's when the Pope at the time proclaimed to the world in the most amazing, prophetic, and beautiful way. If you have not read Humanae Vitae, I'll put a link in the description along with these book links. It will blow your mind how this Pope predicted what we see in our society the last, 60 years now? Since the invention of the pill. So check that out. Withdrawal method, I'm telling you, that's even in the Bible. I can't remember the name. I want to say OMAD, 1 meal a day. There's a dude in the Bible, his name starts with an O, and God punishes him severely and instantly for spilling his seed on the ground. I'm sorry, I know that this video is sort of PG-13. Kind of hard to justify. You definitely want to check out Dr. Janet Smith. She's awesome. She is a very highly demanded public speaker about this topic. She has a famous talk called Contraception, Why Not? Worth listening to that talk, if you're Catholic or not. So if you search on YouTube, the video is called, I think, Contraceptive Myths. I linked that one in the description box as well. Are some of you so old like me that you have CD players? I don't have CD players anymore. Our church the other day had this huge table with free CDs. If anybody wants a free CD, I've got one called Green Sex, The Case for Natural Family Planning by Jason Everett. That would be a great talk. And then I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 copies of Contraception, Why Not? And I will mail it to you. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. This video is not meant to be a judgment on anyone, including any carnivores. I'm serious. I am the worst sinner, and I am just here to say the truth. It's in love. And yes, we're not perfect. I think it's a hard issue as a Catholic. I do think it's a hard issue because I know it was for me. And just the stats. If you listen to Dr. Janet Smith or you read these books, you're going to see the stats on what contraception has done to relationships and marriages. That's where it's at. You don't need to have the religious argument if you just look at the facts. And the fact that couples who use natural family planning have a 2% divorce rate, and people who contracept have a much higher divorce rate, the normal divorce rate. It's staggering. I fear for the girls today who are thinking it's okay to sterilize or to have an IUD in their body for years, and just this trend toward separating sex from its, one of its major functions. It's not a good thing for carnivores. It's not a good thing for our children in our future. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone that might need it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this subject. I really do want to know. Maybe if you've changed your mind on this topic, not because of my video, but maybe that would be awesome. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.